So I just saw Moana 2 and now it's time to continue with the concept art and the character designs, this time for the villains and the film's ending. And like I do over here, instead of just putting out a single review video, I dissect everything about the film in multiple videos that will be coming out as the days go by. So make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button so you don't miss any of them when they drop. And now let's get into what we have for today's video. So I've already gone over the concept art for Moana, Maui and her crew, check it out. So for Matangi, the head of character design stated that Matangi is effortlessly captivating. Cloaked in mystery, the demigoddess exudes an untamed energy that draws in all who encounters her, though it's impossible to distinguish experiencing both in her enigmatic presence. Her character draws some of its inspiration from the Samoan mythological figure of Liutogi, a goddess renowned for her mystical bond with flying foxes. Personally, I was just in love with her Kiwi accent and her very beautiful dark skin, like the melanin was popping. And speaking of flying foxes, Matangi's sidekick is a special flying fox named Pekka, a carnivorous fruit bat, cute but scary. Pekka's fun and eccentric design leans into the iconic Disney appeal. That was the bat that I think was terrorizing Maui. It was a cute little bat and I loved that moment in the film. As for her lair, to get the design, they had to lean into Pacific mythology, including the exploration of the relationship of gods, demigods, and mortals. So for that purple pearl, they pushed its scope and color to make it feel more special than any other location in the film. We also have here the storyboard progression of her song Get Lost. Now, if you were like me and you were not understanding anything she was saying in the song, but you were rather just flowing with the rhythm, this is the summary of the song from the producer, Christina Chen. She said, I also love Matangi's idea of getting lost. We all try to control so much in our lives, and her pushing Moana to get lost is a great advice for us all. Okay. So moving on to Nalo, the director and the screenwriter stated that in a story where Moana is trying to reconnect all the people of the ocean, what could keep them apart? To answer that question, I thought back to how my ancestors made sense of the world through stories rooted in nature, and in some cases, stories of gods jealous of human connection, and that inspired me to create Nalo, the god of storm. Envious of humankind, Nalo cut off the channels connecting the people of the ocean by cursing their island gathering place Motufetu with a never-ending storm. Now with this explanation, you can't help but see the similarity between this story and the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, because in that story, man tried to come together and build a tower to reach God, and then God changed all their languages and then they could not come together again. That is very similar to what they did with Nalo, and I got a comment a few days ago that said the same thing. So that's a nice comparison, only that in Christianity, God is not a villain like we're seeing with Nalo in this film. And as for Nalo's final form revealed in the film, it's just a shame that they left that look to the end credit scene alone, because that look was so sick. Like when I first saw it, I was like, is this not a black man? But I had to think back and be like, oh yeah, Pacific Islanders, they have Melanesians that are practically black people to some extent. So since we're gonna get a third film, no doubt we're having Moana 3, and I'll talk about that in the coming video. I hope we get to see more of him in his actual form. And finally, let's get into the concept art for the Wayfinders. Now, I was so excited when I got to see Melanesians on screen because, in the first Moana film, it kind of celebrated Polynesian culture, but Polynesian culture is just one part of the entire Pacific Ocean. And that was something that they kind of got criticized for because it just focused on one part of the Pacific Islands, leaving out the part that had to do with actual blackness. And that's something that Melanesians have been facing in the media. Like they tend to get erased when the topic of Pacific Islanders come on board. So it was so nice to see them on screen, and I hope that we get to see more of them in the third film. And I was hoping to see the blonde Melanesians, but they didn't appear in the film. All in all, I just love seeing the diversity of the Pacific Islands on screen, and that's pretty much the notes from the production designer, as he stated that we really wanted the Wayfinders to reflect the diversity of the peoples and cultures in the Pacifics. We looked to Satawal, that's in Micronesia, the home of the great and late master navigator Mao Piao Lug. They also looked at the Solomon Islands and Tahiti for inspiration. And the Wayfinders sail on canoes that are inspired by Popo, Tepuke, and Pahi. So that's the most I could find for the early concept art for Moana 2, reminding you to check out the first one because I've already gone over some of them in the previous video. And coming up, I'll be ranking the songs in Moana 2, comparing it with the first film. I'll be talking about the villains and so many other videos. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of them when they drop, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.